Hey guys, how the hell are you? Today we are going to do another iFAQ video, and thank you guys so much for contributing. If you remember last week, I did ask if you had any questions particularly pertaining to my YouTube channel or anything like that, and a lot of you guys delivered some great questions, so thank you so much. I'm very, very appreciative of that. Before we go into the first question though, need I remind you, we are live streaming this right now on Twitch. That's right, I am a Twitch streamer. My Twitch channel is at twitch.tv/ArnoldPlaysGuitar. Please at least give me a follow. If you've got a Twitch account, you can definitely give me a follow. It's under no cost to you whatsoever. That said though, subs, especially if you have Twitch Prime, which is basically stuff that you're already paying for already, so you might as well just give it out to a streamer that you feel warrants that sort of attention. I would absolutely love to receive a Twitch Prime subscription. That would be absolutely fantastic. And you know, I like to do a lot of music production streams. I like to show you guys what's going on behind the scenes, like when we do these videos, editing, that sort of stuff. But also, I like to be available to just get questions bounced off of in real time. I love conversing with you guys. We've got a great community going on so far, and I would love to have you guys be a part of it. Finally, one other thing too, being that this is a YouTube related video, for the first time ever really, I took a look at it, and only about 10% of you guys that actually watch these videos, and I don't mean just the iFAQ videos, I mean all of my videos, only about 10% of you guys are subscribed. I would love, love, love if you would please click that subscription button. Feel free to ding that bell if you so see fit. I mean, but honestly, like just clicking the subscription button would mean a huge amount to me, just so that we continue to grow this channel, we continue to expand our reach, and we continue to open up new opportunities for reviewing gear and letting you guys know what metal-related guitar gear absolutely kicks ass. That's what this channel is all about. And I'm looking to take this to the next step, hopefully going into 2021. But I need your guys' help to do it. So follow me and subscribe on Twitch. Subscribe here on YouTube if you haven't already. And without any more bullshit, I'm sorry, let's just go right on into the first question. Hey Arnold, how the heck are ya? Dude, no, how the heck are you? How do you grow your YouTube channel? Basically, I grow my YouTube channel the same way that a lot of other YouTubers grow their YouTube channel. Honestly, by kind of passively begging. I share my stuff on Facebook. When I had a Twitter, I used to tweet the videos and that sort of thing. I do a lot of cross-platform stuff, so I've got an Instagram that's actually starting to really, really take off right now. There's, of course, my Facebook page, my actual business page, Arnold Plays Guitar. There's other stuff here and there, too. Like, I like to share stuff in Facebook groups from time to time, but you have to be careful with that because in many instances, that's not exactly super kosher. You've got to be really, really adhering to those group rules and those forum rules before you go around just start sharing all your videos and stuff. But for me, a lot of times it's just me asking you guys to please subscribe, sharing the videos, and hoping that I get some organic reach. Hoping that a lot of people take a look at the video and be like, hey, that was fucking rad, let me subscribe so I can get more of this. Considering you have been at this for several years now, what would you go back in time and do differently regarding your YouTube channel? There's a lot of what ifs that go through my mind on things that I could do differently to have maybe gotten off to a better start or something like that. But I'm going to answer this question a little bit differently than what you were probably expecting. I'm going to answer this question on a personal note. I really, really wish I would have operated this channel and really all of my social media platforms that are connected with this under a pseudonym. So my name actually is Arnold. It's not just, you know, some fake name I came up with to do this channel, as I'm sure a lot of you guys realize. But some of you guys, you know, have asked from time to time, what's your real name? And God, I wish I would have thought of something like that. And the reason why I would have preferred to have operated under a pseudonym, please don't take this the wrong way at all, because I honestly really love talking to you guys, not just on the streams, but like out in public. Like, I love it when I go to a music store, or hell, even out to grocery shop and I get recognized. You know, I love when I go to the occasional concert here or there and people come up to me like, hey dude, you're that guy from the channel, right? I'm like, yeah, that's me. And we have a cool talk about guitars and guitar gear and metal and that sort of stuff. I love that shit. I love having you guys come up and take your picture with me at NAMM. That's something super awesome. But for that 0.01% of you guys that are out there that maybe step outside of the bounds a little bit, that's why I would have loved to have operated under a pseudonym. The type of people that find me at work when I do a day job, for example. Like, I've shared this story once before, I'll share it briefly again. At a previous employer, there was one instance where there was a gentleman who, you know, nice enough guy, you know, I can't remember how old he was, maybe late 50s, early 60s or whatever, but he used to watch my channel a lot, and he would call me up at the store that I worked at and start asking me questions about EMGs and stuff. You don't do that. That is way off limits, man. Like, I've got a day job. I need to stay focused on my day job when I'm out there hustling, earning that money so that I can buy this stuff. And, you know, I've got a team that I report to and that I'm responsible for. I've got stuff I need to be working on. You can't be calling me at my store asking me for pickup recommendations, asking me for guitar recommendations. Send me an email, send me a message through my Instagram, that's fine. A lot of people that watch me on my various platforms will tell you that I try to answer them, but, you know, yeah, you gotta keep it separate. My work life is my work life, my personal life is my personal life, and my YouTube and social media life is also separate, and that has to stay that way. So yeah, if I could do one thing differently on a personal note, I would have come up with some sort of name I could operate under. Being that a lot of small to medium operating brands and a lot of YouTube channels rely heavily on Winter NAMM, how do you think 2021 is going to go for showcasing new gear on the platform? Will the coming year be a struggle for the brands and channels to be able to generate enthusiasm for the new gear? What will your approach for 2021 be without a Winter NAMM? So this is an incredible question and very well thought out. But I think I have a simple answer. My approach to it is going to be exactly the same that I'm doing right now. If anything, I'm kind of getting a nice little primer right now because I've been hitting up a lot of brands way more than I ever used to. Like, hey, let's collaborate, let's do this, let's do that. And I think what's going to happen is that because there's no Winter NAMM, because there's not really a big, huge media push on such a massive event, it's going to open things up a little bit more for us YouTubers and content creators that we can kind of swoop in and be like, hey, please, let's collaborate. You know, let's talk about what you can send me, what I can do a video on, what I can demonstrate for you to get this product out there so people know that it kicks ass. Like, I would hope that that's what's going to happen. Like, Winter NAMM is one of those things where, like, it's awesome to go around and see all the new stuff and take tons of pictures for the Instagram and whatnot, but the content, the video content that I make at NAMM, I think a lot of you guys would agree is not necessarily something that you guys tune into very much. So oftentimes I'm kind of scrambling to figure out right up until the day before sometimes, what am I even filming at NAMM? Because I don't like to make appointments. I don't like to, you know, I like to just kind of shoot from the hip when I'm in that sort of environment. And I feel like that actually goes way more naturally for me than just, you know, oh, I'll meet you here at 12 o'clock noon and I'll be happy to take a picture and do like a demonstration of this guitar or something, you know? And I'm not saying that that's how I've operated with everybody, but you know, that is to say that sometimes that's how it feels to me. And I'd much rather it be way more organic, to be honest with you. So, but anyways, to answer your question, hopefully it's going to be something where I'm able to generate a bit more contact with each of these brands on an individual basis and maybe work with them going forward, you know, on like a case-by-case basis instead of just, you know, the fucking zoo that is the Winter NAMM show. The fucking zoo that I love, by the way, and I'm going to miss, but the fucking zoo, because that is exactly what it is. How long did it take you to get to 100 subs, 1,000 subs? How did you survive the grind? I started the YouTube channel, honestly, over 10 years ago, like over 12 years ago. But it was only as something where I could upload something to audition for a band at the time. I didn't actually start like seriously trying to shoot footage and load it onto a YouTube channel until, gosh, maybe like 5-6 years ago when my wife bought me a GoPro. Then like about a year after that when I started actually doing the review videos. Getting to 100 subs, like, honestly went fairly quickly once I did like the first review video, because it's like I hit a nerve with somebody when I did that first unbiased gear review. That was definitely something where a lot of people were like, oh, you know, he's not gonna bullshit us, so let's subscribe. And that's awesome, and I appreciate you for it. So it wasn't nearly as much of a grind as just like, oh, here's an idea that I have that someone was actually able to latch on to. Same thing with 1,000 subs. I want to say like within my first like 3 or 4 unbiased gear videos, I had the first 1,000 subs, which was awesome. How do I survive the grind? Up to this point, I have not given a shit about how successful this is. I've been doing it for the sole purpose of alleviating my own boredom and having fucking fun. And I still have to kind of keep that in the forefront of my brain with everything that I do. Even though my setup is getting a little bit more professional with better cameras, better lighting, etc. Even though I'm able to sort of branch out here, do the frequently asked questions stuff. I'm doing amps now and stuff, and I'm kind of, you know, always figuring out better ways to do these videos. It's one of those things where I still don't take it super seriously in the context of like, oh, I am a complete professional at this. I would love to make a living doing this, and that's the reason why I've also been branching out into Twitch and stuff like that while I've been unemployed. But it is what it is. I know that that would take a substantial leap in quality, in viewership, in subscribership, etc. And I just don't have that. So how I survive the grind is I just keep churning shit out for the sake of what I would want to watch and what I would want to be told before I would actually pick up this instrument or this piece of gear. How much percentage-wise do you make off YouTube compared to a regular job? How many subs would it take to go full-time? The earnings per views thing has changed over the years. It's changed immensely, and like as far as earnings per views or like what kind of a percentage do I make off of YouTube versus off of like when I've got a real day job, it varies. It varies because month to month it also depends on like how much content I'm putting out, how popular that content is, how many of you guys are tuning in. It's not something where I can put a certain number on how many subs I need. There are guys with less subs than me that have figured it out that are actually doing this shit even more full time. For me, it's still a bit of a grind, it's still a bit of a hustle, it's still a bit of finding my way, and also building relationships with these various different companies and trying to figure out how best to go forward. So honestly, there is not really much money at all that comes from YouTube revenue. To give you guys an idea, when I stream on YouTube, the revenue that I get from you guys as giving tips and donations is way more than any sort of ad revenue I get from like any one video in particular. So, I mean, that is what that is. It's not exactly something where I get huge bank for making these videos. How has YouTube changed your life both as a musician and in life? Harkening back to an earlier question, like, I love the fact that I get recognized, and I love the fact that people come up to me and ask me questions and they want their picture taken, because that's fucking mind-blowing to me. It's literally one of those things where I still get starstruck when I go to shows and I get to hang out and like put my arm around one of my heroes. Hey, let's snap a picture. So for any of you guys to be holding me up to any sort of stature like that, it blows my fucking mind, and there's still definitely a part of me that's like, is this even for real? Like, am I deserving of that? As far as how it's changed my life, if anything, it's taught me a thing or 20 about being more professional. Because I do what I do. I do the unbiased gear reviews, and if you send me a piece of shit gear, I am still going to just roast the fuck out of it. At the same time, I've kind of reached the point now where I understand how to do it much more respectfully. Sometimes I look back on my older videos and I cringe a little bit by just the fuck this, fuck that kind of shit that I was doing, even though you guys like the vitriol. It's one of those things that has definitely closed a few doors for me and also created a little bit of tension between me and a few other people in the industry. So truthfully, like, it's probably taught me a lot about actually being the face of a brand, so to speak, and being a little bit more personable, being a little bit more approachable, especially when out in public, especially with dealing with the public. Because even though, like, my day job, I've kind of always done that for the past, 20 years, it's different. People don't necessarily see me as much of the face of the brand in those particular situations as they do in this particular situation. I'm still the sole owner, proprietor, employee at all of Arnold Plays Guitar. So if people don't like Arnold Plays Guitar, it's basically you're saying, we just don't like you. So I have to be way more, I guess, concerned with how I come off to people. Theme question. What resources or videos did you consume for teaching yourself how to be a content creator on YouTube? Your content is consistent, polished, quality, and has had visible progression, but how did you start learning and gain specific equipment and software and skills to become so? So as far as how I do the videos, it's honestly been a shitload of trial and error, and I'd never really watched too many videos on how to do this or how to do that. It's usually just the thing where I pull up YouTubers who I greatly respect, the likes of Olaf, Fluff, Glenn Fricker, Gear Gods, stuff like that. A bunch of guys who I've come to know after being a YouTuber, so guys like Steve from Boston, Sean Daniels, Dovidas, Samurai Guitarist, dudes like that who they have a certain way of handling themselves that is different from how I have handled myself. And I'd like to think that seeing how they interact with each other has hopefully rubbed off on me a little bit, especially in how I approach the actual video making process. And there's a lot more guys out there, the names are just popping into my head now even more. Mike Bradley, Mike Palmisano, etc. But like, it is what it is. As far as like, how do I do this? How do I do this? Sometimes since I've been a YouTuber, I've bounced questions off of dudes. Like Steve from Boston was extremely helpful in helping me get like my streaming setup figured out. So thank you so much, bro. But other than that, just a shitload of trial and error. And honestly, a hell of a lot of frustration. Like, I've mentioned it on stream a handful of times when people have asked, how come you don't use Pro Tools anymore? Because they started really sucking for me at one point when I was recording an album. So much so I scrapped the whole fucking thing and started over again in Logic. Like, a lot of times I just reach a certain point of frustration with this piece of equipment or that piece of equipment that I'm like, get that fucking thing out of here, let me get something else. That's why we're watching this right now being filmed through a Canon camera as opposed to my Zoom cameras, which are now pretty much solely for live streaming purposes. Just getting frustrated, moving on to something else, but really just kind of like, oh, what's that? Let me take it and let me kind of fiddle with it and learn a little bit. Did you ever make a conscious effort to promote your channel to widen your audience via promoted posts, ads, etc.? If so, was this successful or worth the money you put into it? If not, what types of reviews do you think have been most impactful to growing, expanding your audience? Great question. I have attempted a handful of ads here or there, maybe the occasional YouTube ad, but also like the occasional sponsored post on Instagram or Facebook, and I don't put a ton of money into it because the results that I get back are usually fairly mixed. What I will tell you though is that the videos that tend to be the most popular, definitely the guitar reviews and the amp reviews, especially if it's stuff that people are really curious about. So like, for instance, like if I do something from some boutique custom luthier, although it's something that a handful of us will have a mind-blowing experience with, oftentimes me, a lot of times people just aren't as concerned about it because they don't already know the brand. Meanwhile, if I put up something from Schecter or ESP or something, they lunge at that. They really gravitate towards that because, oh, it's name brand recognition. It's an unfortunate thing, and hopefully it's one of those things where like those videos bring in the viewers, but then like the various boutique-y custom made stuff and not necessarily super mainstream brands hopefully get a little bit of interest off of like, huh, that guy did that LTD guitar and now he's doing this Reichardt guitar, or now he's doing this Siggy Brown, or now he's doing this other boutique handmade thing that I've never heard of before. That's interesting. Let me dive in and let me hear what he has to say about it. Maybe I'm missing out on something. At least that's what I hope is happening. And now it's time for this week's Troll of the Week. And this week's Troll of the Week, well, he tuned into one of the YouTube streams and he didn't necessarily care for it so much. Kind of feel like this should stay on Twitch. These videos are way too long and taking away from the original content we all wanted. Sorry, man. Okay, first of all, that you all wanted, I'm sure that a lot of you guys can agree that this dude speaks for you. So, but here's the thing, like, I'm doing the streams for the people that are interested in them. You know, right now, I've got a handful of people watching on Twitch, I've got a handful of people watching on the tube of you, and it's cool, it's awesome, and I get to interact with them when my back is not to them doing this video. But it's not like anyone's holding a gun to your head and saying, hey, you need to watch every single thing that Arnold Plays Guitar does. If that was the case, I wouldn't get so many fucking troll comments on videos from like 3 years ago. Dude, the fisheye lens, fuck that thing. Dude, what's up with your tone? Fuck your tone. Like, alright, you're commenting on a video of a guitar I did 3-4 years ago, man. You need to come to something from 2020, see what's going on here before you start pissing and moaning about what I did back then. I know that what I did back then was shit. This is way better now as far as the overall quality of the content, so, but like, yeah. Dude, you don't speak for everybody. If you don't like the stream, don't tune into the stream. Fine, sit around and wait for me to actually put up the videos. I promise you, more videos are coming, that's fine. But really for you to just be like, you know, hey, I know I'm gonna go into the chat section and just about something that honestly has no real ill effect on me whatsoever. I mean, what, do you go into a store and ask for the manager for every little fucking infraction as well? I mean, god damn. Your life must be so fucking perfect that this is what's bothering you. Anyways, thank you guys so much for helping me out with this sort of themed video. Remember, like this video, subscribe to this channel. There's tons more metal guitar oriented content to come. And remember, take what you do seriously, but do not take yourself too seriously.